up, everybody?
I honestly didn't know it was gonna do that if I didn't hit the next button. Like I didn't know. Like I was like, okay, cool. I'll write it out so that I can send a little tweet. It's okay.
It cut off real quick too. I thought I had like a couple more seconds, and it just like cut off.
I thought, that's unfortunate. Anyhow, just like back to tales of Amanda not really knowing how to do all this. Okay, let me just, I don't know. I tweeted it. Does that help us in any way? Hello, friends. Welcome. It's Monday Night Besties. We are here. Oh, I'm going to just be a floating head. It's okay. It's whatever. We'll figure this out. Yeah. So good. And Monday night. Oh, DC. It's so nice to see you.
I'm back. I'm back. I got to check in for a little bit last week. So I got to check out a little bit of the show. So to answer, I think it was MDB said I Michael Jackson y'all or something like that. He said I Michael Jackson. I don't know what that meant. So if he's watching today, let me know what you meant by that. I don't know what that was supposed to mean, MDB.
Michael Jackson.
Shout out to Ed for filling in.
Oh,
a great dude.
I get it.
Get it now. Okay, got you.
And the God's honest truth is I still don't have an eyebrow pencil, my man. And I was just telling him he's gonna clown me because I don't have the eyebrow pencil. So I'll get onto it. It's okay. It's just one Target trip away.
Yep. That's right.
Keep forgetting. I always forget to get the stuff for myself. I bet you do that too. It's like you get diapers, you get the kids snacks, but then you have like nothing. You're eating goldfish at night.
They got older kids got all the new Nike gear, new Nike shoes.
Yeah,
you know how it is. The PS5s and all that stuff. And I'm sitting here. The best I can give you is a Braun Breaker shirt.
Yes, Braun Breaker. He was there tonight. It was just a small amount of time, but it was still, it was nice. He had a good face off with Bronson Reed.
Yeah, I think there was a lot tonight. What I'm loving about Raw right now is like I've commended the show for so long, Amanda. Like it got to a point where like people were saying that they need to cut to 3 hours, right?
Right.
Like, it's to the point now where it's like they don't even fit everything in the 3 hours. Like there's people like you said, like Braun Breaker was on the screen tonight, but he had like 4 minutes at the most on the television tonight, and that's your Intercontinental Champion. Same thing for Gunther tonight. He wasn't there obviously because he's getting ready for Bash in Berlin. He's already there. So I still think another Raw that delivered tonight. I was a big fan. Been a big fan of Triple H's booking on Monday Night Raw week after week. The matches have delivered.
I agree. I do. I think that they're doing the best they can with balancing so many really like compelling stories too, because there is quite a lot that's going on. So like, okay, let's see. MDB. Let's go to that. I will go to that first.
Gotta start with that.
I think that was my best of the best for tonight.
Yeah.
That was something that, just because it's like a novelty, right? Like it's fun to have. Okay, I very clearly was trying to fix the light in here, and I don't know if it's right or wrong. So it's okay. There's some cleaning products behind me. If you see them,
I wouldn't even have noticed.
I clean the house. Sometimes. But so Bronson Reed is also in a triple threat next week to be in like the Intercontinental picture. So that's actually very fun to me because it's just, they kind of are interweaving it all together. And I do think that's something that is sort of hallmark of this Triple H era.
Mm-hmm.
What am I supposed to call him? Paul Levesque? Anyway, Paul from The Office, I think, is doing a great job at everything, but like kind of seamlessly pulling it together. So we had tonight Bronson Reed and Braun Strowman, which Michael Cole said a funny thing where he called it he's like, look at this beef. Like instead of saying meat, he said beef specifically, which I just thought was like amusing. I don't know. It was pretty good. Made me laugh.
I think my favorite thing that Michael Cole said in this match that I was cracking up at the beginning of the match, remember when the match first started and Braun Strowman ran right towards Bronson Reed and tried to drop kick him? And Michael Cole said it was like a T-Rex doing a drop kick. So I'm just picturing a T-Rex, like a dinosaur trying to drop kick. Like low key a great dig at Braun Strowman right there. That's
a good line.
Some good stuff by Michael Cole once again. That was my favorite comment. I was rolling for a minute on that.
So to be honest, I'm not exactly sure how they got outside.
Yeah, they just went through. Just went through the back through the entire arena.
I went and grabbed a soda, and by the time I got back, then
I had a feeling that's where they were going because, like, usually they like stop recording and like cut to something else.
Yeah,
but like they got to the back, and then like all the security's getting thrown around, and then like you could see in the background that the back, like the outside, is open.
Oh.
So like once I seen that in the background, I'm like, yep, they're going outside. Like it's about to get real. At first, I thought Braun Strowman was going to pick up another car or something like he did a few years back. If you remember that, Braun Strowman picking up the car. Roar, I'm strong. Yes. But instead, we got best part of the night. I think we all agree. Bronson Reed once again. He better win next week too. By the way, what he's been doing on Raw, Bronson Reed gotta win next week and get in that Intercontinental Fatal 4-Way. But they're fighting outside, end up on a car, and that poor car and poor Braun Strowman tsunami through the car.
Big one. Yeah.
Glass shattered, smoke coming out of the car. Like,
I think that the passenger side, I don't think they planned it. I think it just happened. But that the passenger side, like mirror light, the electronic in it, or like the bulb, like popped. So there was also like a very tiny explosion that was almost like if they had planned it like that, it would have seemed like they were just like taking a dig, or being petty. But because it was very clearly just like, oh no, that like element was still in the light switch, which was very funny. I loved that there was so many angles. Like they very clearly had it like exactly spotted, but it was fun that the replays were quite quick and they were from so many angles, including like a little bit further away and higher up, because that was a fun angle to watch. Because I was watching Bronson Reed, but what I would like to do is watch it again, because I did, at least in one of the faraway shots, I watched the cameramen. And like the way that they were moving was just very, it's just like, they know they get, it's like your job. You get one chance to get this right. You better get that shot. But it just seemed like it was palpable. Like their energy was really funny to see from above. So.
He's a lot more athletic than people give him credit for. For him to be as big as he is, what is he? I think they said 6'3", 350. I think they bill him as. Did a suicide dive in the match.
Yes.
Against Braun Strowman and cleared the rope. Like, that's impressive. He's a big dude. Like that's pretty impressive. Bronson Reed, I think just once again, like, what is this? 3 weeks in a row he's on the show and stole the show.
Really? Yeah. Oh, I'm disappearing. I'll sit back.
We got floating Amanda.
I'll sit back, but then it looks like I'm trying to show my boobs, which is not the case. Although that might be a good time to remind you that you can send in your slamchats.com.
That's right.
I don't know where that goes, but if you do a super chat, I'll be able to see it, and I just want to know what happens. So if there's any of the squad, even if you have $1, just throw me $1.
Yeah.
We'll shake it for $1. I think both of us would shake it for $1 for a mere second if we could just see what happens when we get a super chat. It's possible it happens all the time, and I just like don't even know how to see it, but I don't think so. I'm not trying to be rude, but I don't think so. So, okay, let's see.
Slamchats.com. Hook us up.
Slamchats.com. Okay, we are.
You could donate too. Like if there's any reason you don't like us, like you can donate to other creators. We all put a lot of work in and a lot of time for you guys to get a little bit more context of Monday Night Raw. Some people don't watch it. Some people don't get to watch all of it. And so that's why we're here. And we recap it for you every Monday night, an hour after the show, right? Like I'm on here until after midnight on a weeknight. For my time. And then Amanda's up late. We both, so hook us up. We do a lot of work for you, and Body Slam does too. So slamchats.com, folks.
Slamchats.com. Get that money in there. Okay. I just really want to see what happens. So if you could do that, I would like to know. Somebody please help me.
That's right.
I agree. This was one of the best visuals. I don't know
Yes.
at what point did something change? Like the chats come up different. They're hard for me to see. How weird is that? We'll worry about that another day. But it was unlike this size font that I will figure out how to fix. That was a great visual. And it was something that was very you could tell that it's not like they could have practiced it a bunch of times. You know what I mean?
Right.
Doing it on like a mat or doing it in a ring or doing it wherever is not going to be the same. It was kind of one of those, like, it was believable to me that that was the one. Like, that's the one they did. And so, I like don't always, unless I have to, like unless I'm professionally compelled, I don't always read like the scoops threads and stuff that come out before. But
Yeah.
I had seen something from, I think it was Russell Votes, that there was like some back and forth about like what the spot would end up being. And I don't know if we already know like what the planned alternate was. Have they already said?
I just hear like sometimes they don't know until like right before the segment.
Yeah. I just can't imagine. I just wonder if it's like, okay, maybe not the car, like if it was back and forth about the car versus something else.
Right.
Because they have done a car fairly like recently with like the ricochet angle. But that was Braun Breaker, and I do think it was a different thing. This was like a whole
This was way cooler. Look,
This
I
is
am
way
way
cooler, yeah.
Yeah, like we understand that Braun Breaker's an athletic freak. We get it, but like Bronson Reed is like he climbed a cement wall in the back of the arena and does a tsunami off of a cement wall. Like, come on.
That's pretty wild.
Like the man of the night, like Bronson Reed once again. Like it's unfortunate that Braun Breaker's already Intercontinental Champion, so like it's hard for me to go against Braun Breaker right now, especially since he just won. But like what they've done with Bronson Reed in just a few weeks is just you got to give kudos. Like for the writing, for Bronson Reed finally, you know, finding himself, and the writers are able to find a storyline and booking that fits him, that makes him look like, you know, a big deal. And they've done it in just a few weeks. Like we've already got Braun Strowman now, who's probably going to the hospital. You got R-Truth, who got dismantled. You got obviously Seth Rollins, who's going to be out. Like this, he's tearing up the whole roster, and eventually he's going to get a title shot of some sort, and we'll see where this goes. I just think the sky's the limit for Bronson Reed right now. You love these organic growths for these wrestlers when they are able to elevate organically like this. It is just it's a testament to the writing room.
It is. Also, I agree. His athleticism is sort of something that's maybe like underrated overall about him. I also think he has a tremendous presence that doesn't always get like in the little backstage segment that there was with Braun. I think you got a little bit more personality from him in a way, but like in a menacing way, because he is sort of presented, I think in the past where he's interacted with Adam Pearce, it's almost been like whiny. Like it hasn't been as menacing. And tonight was quite like, yeah, like you should be afraid of me type of
From the moment he told Adam Pearce, look, you're not going to book me in matches, then I'm going to have to make my own way. I'm going to have to do it myself. I'm going to force you to. And ever since he said that a few weeks ago, tearing everybody up. Kudos to Bronson Reed, the winner, and my favorite part of the night once again, tsunami through a car.
Tsunami through a car.
Yeah.
Organic growth. It is
Organic
good.
growth. Hashtag. Start it.
Start it.
Yep.
Let's do it.
And if anyone else is watching too, you know, if you're watching on Facebook, Twitch, Twitter, X, send those comments in. We want to know what you thought of Monday Night Raw tonight as well. And we got Bash in Berlin coming up this Saturday as well.
We sure do. Matthew was wondering if we have any picks. Do we have any picks?
Ooh, we can. We could do that later.
We can do that. We'll do that, Matthew.
We can do that real quick later.
We will run through it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think, I mean, you know, I don't want it to always be my least best. Like, I don't want it to be my least best. What do you
I
think I'm
know
going
what
to
this
say?
is. Something I'm assuming with Karrion Kross, the match.
Oh, no, it's not actually.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
What was
It's
your
that
worst?
I'm done. Like, I'm going to slap this table. I slapped the table. I am done with Damage Control and
Oh,
the Pure Fusion Collective.
yeah.
I don't feel like
This is not hitting with you.
I
It's not
just think
working.
that until there's like a formed third, like I do think that okay, so when Zelina popped out tonight, I was like, okay, I buy Zelina Vega in Damage Control or like as a Damage Control ally far more than Lyra Valkyria. I don't think that they meant I actually don't think that they meant to make Damage Control appear to be super babyface. I think that it was meant to be just like, hey, this girl is nice. Like she has feathers on her outfits or something. I don't know. Like what? Like I think just the visual was probably seemingly good together, but
Yeah.
yeah, it's I'm ready for them to move on unless they do kind of like make that I would say more official. Like if
Yeah.
it's a 3-on-3
I
and they're
think
kind of
I
like
think
and
the
they
biggest problem with this whole storyline, like there's two things. So like you made a good point about Damage Control and like not finding their third partner and like obviously Asuka's out, so like it's weird.
yeah.
Dakota Kai's out now, so it's even more weird.
Yeah.
And then you on the other side you got Pure Fusion Collective, which we already made fun of their name a couple weeks ago. Like let's not go there again. That's strike one. The name is awful. But two, like 2 weeks in a row, they made Pure Fusion Collective like this powerhouse faction, and they've done nothing but lose in the last couple weeks.
Right.
It's like they build them up like all the way up here, and it's like, whoa, we might have something here. We got a new name, but like ever since that name, ever since they gave him that name, it's been all downhill ever since.
And I wonder if some of that is just like, I mean, I like to give them benefit of the doubt. Like, I wonder how much of it is just like perception. We're like, oh no, we don't like the name. But like, I do think I feel like it's getting stale if it's just the same rotation of like people. Okay, hold on. Side rant. I am slapping tables now. Who told me this? Yes, I'm slapping tables now.
I like that.
I would like to see more on the main roster, a similar vibe to NXT. And before you bark at me, hear me out. These are characters within a world that we are watching them do their jobs and we're watching them behind the scenes of their jobs, right? Like we've established that now on the main roster because we see stuff talking backstage in a different way. We see the entrances in a different way. We see interactions in a little bit more nuanced way. I would say like not so much with the authority figures, but like, you know, it's gotten a little bit more nuanced in like the presentation. So beyond like what was it on SmackDown? It was like Blair Davenport just like ran up and smacked Naomi, and it was like, oh, this is our reason for our match together because I ran up on you and smacked you. At least that's like I ran up on you and smacked you. Damage Control and this Pure Fusion Collective are still going back and forth over them hurting Dakota Kai, but wasn't it like 3 weeks ago?
It was a couple weeks ago, yeah.
Because it was it was like a bit ago. And so can I see them like okay. I like how I will always see a Benoit bomb. Let me tell you a story. Yeah, I will always get you on a just because those are sometimes it's trending and it's for like a real reason. And if you write that article, sometimes it goes well and sometimes it goes so exceptionally poorly that I have like PTSD from yeah. Anyway, so don't talk about Chris Benoit in the chat. I will delete it. Mac B. Killen. I don't know who you are, but that's okay. That's cute. Ring of Honor. Tell me your favorite Ring of Honor match in the last month. Actually, I need to get caught up. I am not.
Off record and off Raw, I watched All In, my first AEW pay-per-view.
What did you think?
So I actually thought it was really good. There were a couple things where I was like, all right, My only complaints, real quick, was just no reason why Jericho's match should have been on the main card and not. Is it Soraya Page? I call her Page, and Jamie's return. That should have been on the main card, not the pre-show.
Correct.
And then Mercedes Moné's match was kind of bland with Britt Baker. It was kind of boring. Neither one looked really strong. That was my big takeaway. Everything else was awesome. So I wanted to throw that in. I know that's big because that was my first time. So
I am excited about that. I'm excited for you.
Thank you.
It is like, for me, it is like it's like eat the meat and leave the bones. There is like a couple of things I would say every show I'm just like, oh, this isn't for me. But
I think WWE got some pressure coming on Saturday because that was a good one. So we'll see how Bash in Berlin is on Saturday.
Exactly. There is anytime that there is, I think anytime it's good for everybody. Absolutely. And so I don't think anyone benefits if I never drag AEW. It's just not every piece of it's for me.
Yeah.
I will never forget the time that I actually gagged because Jon Moxley was getting skewers jammed into his forehead. And
it's just like Raw.
Yeah, you know it is. It's just
everything isn't for everyone. Like the way you feel about Pure Fusion Collective is how I'm been feeling about the whole New Day Karrion Kross thing. Like, I'm also, I know we'll get to it, but I'm also kind of over the Uncle Howdy, Chad Gable stuff. I'm really hoping.
I hope it's over.
I do too, but I'm afraid it's not.
Yeah, because they kind of had like a whole brawl situation.
But we'll get to that. We'll save that for last. I just want to.
Yeah, okay. We'll talk about that one last. Yeah. So what I would like to see from this Pure Fusion Collective is that I don't think that if they're meant to be presented as quite menacing, can we just see them like bully some people in the back?
For sure.
I mean, can we see them doing some nasty things, like being mean?
I thought they were really building something for a couple.
Yeah, I thought that it was going to be like kind of a badass faction, and they would just be like walking past people, like flipping their food. You know what I mean?
Like you have three very solid heel female wrestlers in this group that are all like, you're telling me Shayna Baszler and Zoe Stark aren't two badass women? Like, badasses. And then you got Sonya Deville, who was not obviously not super intimidating, but she's the brains behind it, and she's going to be the mouthpiece. She's going to talk all the trash on the mic. She's going to talk all the trash to the other women. It was I thought it was working, and then it wasn't. So I'm with you. I'm with you on that, honestly.
We'll see how it goes. Maybe this damage control thing, like they'll move on, or they'll be like, I do think next week is more compelling because it's Zelina against Shayna Baszler, which I think should be a really fun match.
Should be good.
Because it's something that I think people will expect, that it's just like a massacre. And
anytime Zelina Vega, I compare her. She's like Raw's Michin, where anytime they're on television and getting a match, you're happy for them because they put so much work in. They support everyone else so much on social media, and online. So like, kudos to Zelina Vega. I'm glad she has a match for sure.
Me too. It's also very much that thing like that she said, like, give her the ball. You know what I mean? If she fumbles it, she's the first. She'll be the one to say, "Oh yeah, I messed that up." But otherwise, let's just see. And I'm really excited to see. So that's really fun. I am excited about that for next week. What else did we have tonight?
Yeah, so I wanted to real quick mention this before we got into it. So I wrote an article today. My first time writing an article in a little bit. It's been a couple weeks. I took a couple weeks off just to be fully open to everyone watching. Just needed to take a couple weeks break. I just needed to sit back, take a step back, kind of refocus some things, revamp, retool a little bit. And, before I get back into the wrestling coverage, I do a lot of other things outside of this. So like just time management is a big thing. But today was my first time back in the writing circles for wrestling. And I wrote about the Judgment Day at dailyddt.com. People don't realize how much they've dominated and how well they've been advertised and how much they've done. Like people don't 2 years ago, they've been at this for over 2 years and just running Monday Night Raw, just completely running it from the time. And I kind of went back in the timetable. Obviously, Edge and Rhea and Damian started. Obviously, Finn comes in, kicks Edge out. You got Dominic joining. Like, all this is happening. And then all of a sudden, titles start rolling in. You got Rhea winning the Rumble. Priest winning Money in the Bank, undisputed tag team titles, Dom winning NXT North American title, just gold dripping everywhere. And like just watching all their growths from the beginning. Like obviously Dominic, biggest heel in wrestling. Like not even just WWE. Just
That's true.
dude can't even talk. Like he
That's
can't.
true.
Just watching the Judgment Day, I've been a big fan. And the reason I gave them flowers in my article is because like it started slow. Like remember when the Judgment Day first started, I was like, at least I know I was, and I talking to a lot of people, it wasn't hitting at first. It was like, all right, Edge started this new group, and
Yeah.
you know, Rhea wasn't that strong yet on the mic. I think she was still trying to figure it out. Damian was still kind of fresh, so it was early, and
Yeah.
it wasn't hitting yet. But like how far they've all come in 2 years' time.
Yeah.
JD McDonough getting called up on the main roster. Carlito's just there, I guess. But as far as they've all come in 2 years, and like today, as we've seen, they start Monday Night Raw with them all in the ring with Liv Morgan as their new, I guess, leader of the group. I guess Liv Morgan, Finn Balor, one of them.
Yeah, it's their women's champion. I
That's
guess
the women's
so.
champ. And like, I love what they're doing right now. It's just you got to give kudos once again to the writing, to them for their elevation and how much better they've all gotten in the ring, on the mic, their promos, and great way to start Raw tonight. I love the back and forth between Dom and Ray. Ray told him, smack that stupid mustache off your face. He probably couldn't wait to say that either. He couldn't wait. He wanted to say it. But yeah, we started Monday Night Raw with the Judgment Day obviously coming out, and it teased the match that ended up happening. But how have you felt with the Judgment Day as we get ready for Rhea and Damian Priest, the Terror Twins? Is that what they're called now? Against Dom and Liv coming up on Saturday.
I'm so looking forward to that. If they don't let me see Rhea actually attack Dom, I'll be very depressed. I know that's
she's definitely whooping his ass for sure.
It has to happen. And if it doesn't, I will write a letter, like an old-fashioned letter, and I'll show it to you guys, and I will literally put it in the postal mail, and I will send it to Paula Beck, care of Stamford, Connecticut. That we needed to have seen that, and that every woman who has been tortured by a dumbass mostly ugly man, you know what I'm saying? Like, there's like, what's going on with this Dom?
Mustache.
Just that mustache. What's happening with
Stupid
this
mullet?
Chicken tendies, dude. He's probably a passenger princess too. Dom Liv's driving the whip, and Dom is just like riding around with a Slurpee, his head out of the window like a doggy. But yeah, no, I just think that we need to see it.
Yes.
And if it doesn't happen, I will postal mail a letter.
Isn't it? It's almost up there with like us anticipating Ray hitting him for the first time, right? Like, doesn't it feel like that? Like we're just waiting for Rhea to just.
Yeah, I want her to hit a riptide on him.
Yes.
Specifically, I want to see a finishing move.
She hit it on JD tonight. He got one pretty good.
He did. So it can be done. They're gonna they can show man or woman on man violence. I just don't know if like because of the relationship aspect, like from a like a sponsorship perspective, I don't know if it'll be like you can't have DV on here because like I don't know, is that technically like what it would be? I don't know.
I'm with you though.
I was a social worker, so I used to hear like every polarity. You have no idea. If you ever want to hear the wildest group of people talking in life, it is a break room at like a DSHS. It's called DSHS in our state, like Department of Social Health and Services. Like the break room of that place is insanity because it is every single viewpoint you can imagine. So I'm sorry if you are against seeing a woman who was in an intimate partner relationship, theoretically, with this man. If you would not want to see her assault him, but I very much do. So if I don't get it, I'm going to write a letter to Paul Levesque. I'm sure that's very threatening to him. That sounds awful. So I think the Judgment Day, though, I like that they haven't changed the name. I don't know what that whole thing was about, but I'm glad that it didn't change the name. I also think that I don't know what the hell Carlito is there for, but
I still am trying to. It's worse than R-Truth. Like at least R-Truth was like comedy, you know? Like at least R-Truth was funny
Yeah,
about
like
it. Like
Carlito almost makes me sad. Like
yeah, and I think it's just
it's
because
kind of
like
like
dude is like a borderline. I don't want to say borderline Hall of Famer. I don't think he's that close, but an all timer. Like obviously he was brought back for a reason. Like he was one of, I mean, a great intercontinental champion in his time. I think he won the United States title. Like dude was a good and still is. He could still wrestle. It's just I don't know this whole Judgment Day thing. It's never really hit with me with Carlito. Like I said, at least R-Truth was funny about it, and like it had a comedic flair to it. Where
mhm.
Carlito, I mean, Carlito has his moments too. I guess like when the Dom Live stuff first started, and Carlito's
Yeah,
facial expressions, like he's had his moments. So I don't want to like completely
yeah.
take him out of the equation.
But
But
I
like,
think at this point in the story, though, I'm like, what the hell is Carlito doing here?
yeah,
And so I
same.
wonder if there's not a reason for what the hell Carlito is doing here. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? At some point, we might figure out what the hell he's doing here.
A big
Um,
reason I gave them their flowers is because I do think it's the beginning of the end.
yeah, I do. I
Yeah.
think I do.
Yeah.
I
That's the
also
big reason I wrote the article.
I wonder if Carlito's not there to just be like a henchman for Dom, like if it doesn't split off, that it's actually Dom, Liv, and Carlito,
Mm-hmm.
and then the tags go their own way. The Irish connection,
Irish
right?
connection.
The
We're still
Irish
tag
connection.
champs. Yeah, that was a great way to start Raw tonight. But like you said, we got Bash and Berlin coming Saturday. Orton had a big promo tonight that it was
Yep.
like a 10-minute promo. It was good 10,
Yeah.
10 or so minutes. But a strong promo, I thought, from Randy Orton. I mean, obviously, it's Randy Orton. He's an all-time great, one of the greatest of all time. So we can't expect anything less. But did he give us enough to believe that he will dethrone Gunther in Germany? That's my question. Does anybody think that Orton? I mean, like he would be what 15-time champ? He said in this promo tonight.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
I think he's gonna do it.
really?
Yeah. I don't know why. I don't have a good reason for that.
Sometimes you don't need a reason. Sometimes you
I
just like
also
look.
think they might.
Sometimes you just go out like Sheamus and just say, "I got Georgia Tech." I have nothing
Yeah.
to back it up. I'm just picking Georgia Tech to beat Florida State, and he was right. So like
There you go.
sometimes you don't have to have a reason.
I just
Orton's
think
gonna
that
win.
the numbers. What's that magical number? What's the Ric Flair
Ric
number?
Flair, I think it's 16,
Is
isn't
it
it?
16?
Yeah.
So then I do think you set up a very compelling. Okay, like let's not. Oh man,
Mm.
don't let Amanda fantasy book, but you can, because in my fan fiction notebook, we then later have heavyweight champion Orton versus undisputed champion
Mm.
John Cena
Mm.
to figure out who gets to the 16. And then
Mm.
whoever gets to the 16, they're just like, I think they both eventually will, but I think like Cena
Mm.
gets to the 16. I don't think they want to erase Ric Flair, but I
Yeah.
don't think they want him as the top of the pops.
At
I
the
think
top.
that
Yeah.
Cena will hit the 16, and then perhaps later we would see Randy Orton do it as well. Um, and don't even ask me. I don't even know. I do know. I know I could say everything I think, but it's actually like so unhinged, and it's whatever. It's not the time or the
Unhinged
place.
Amanda is always the best.
It's just not the time or the place. But I do think that there's going to be I've said it before and I'll say it again, and I hope that I'm right. I actually do. I think that John Cena has already planted seeds for there being a compelling, different element to him that is not necessarily simply the good guy. I think what they saw with The Rock is that they can have a characterization that is dastardly, that is really fun to play, which is really compelling, which they've never done before. It makes it really interesting and worthwhile to take a year out of your extremely high powered Hollywood career in order to do. I think that there's something big that they're planning on telling. And I do think that it's like John Cena rides the line of being evil. And I think it's somehow related to The Rock. And I think it fucks over Cody somehow. And that's about it. I don't know. I have a whole
Gotcha.
detailed
Yeah, I
thing.
mean, I like the Orton Cena matchup to decide. I like that. a lot would obviously have to happen for that. I mean,
There'd be
like,
so many things.
yeah, like how does Cena get the undisputed title?
I think you get, yeah, okay, whatever. We'll do this another day. We'll do this another day. You
Yeah,
know
that's
what
a
we'll
lot.
do? You should pay us $5 a month. Does anyone want a Patreon? Does anyone want to be a bestie? Do you want to be a bestie? You could give us $5 a month. You could be our bestie, and just like
That's
we
right.
could do this every day. I
That's
mean,
right. Simple. Yeah,
whatever. Let's figure that out.
that
So
was a good spot tonight too, though. His
it was.
promo I thought was strong. Talking a lot about, you know, that Gunther. At first, it was just for the title, and then
Mhm.
Gunther made it personal by bringing up
Mhm.
family and
Yeah.
all that. So like now it's deeper than just the championship. I'm ready for the match. I really am. I thought the first time it delivered, the ending was whack. So I'm hoping this second match, the ending is better. We get a clear cut winner.
Yeah.
And we will see. I mean, we'll make our picks at the end real quick for the Bash Berlin coming up on Saturday. But I thought Orton had a solid promo tonight as well.
Yeah. Good stuff. You know what else was good stuff? I don't know if you saw, but CM Punk was
Drew
live
McIntyre.
on Instagram before he made an
Oh,
appearance on Raw.
I didn't
Yeah.
see that.
Yeah. This was wild. I actually wrote this as a story because I was like, this is cool.
Mm.
So the whole time Drew was cutting the promo, CM Punk was under the ring live on Instagram.
Oh,
Isn't that kind of cool? I don't
yeah, I
know.
didn't see that.
That's an interesting thing. Like, it's just like I liked
Mm.
how they integrated on SmackDown too. Like, they let Grayson Waller do the live bit again because that was so fun on NXT, and it was just really fun to see it on SmackDown. So yeah, CM Punk got to do it tonight. He was live under the ring during Drew's promo, which is hilarious.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Drew cut a great promo as well, just
Mm-hmm.
very strong. I think that it gives a compelling argument if you're someone who is not a CM Punk fan, you're really like, yeah, which I think is the best part about this particular story is that you can, I mean, just like anything, you can argue it so many different ways. But I do think that you can take both Drew and Punk's perspective and like actually like go, oh, okay. Like you can buy it both angles.
Mm-hmm.
I always think that's fun because it's not I don't care who wins. It's like which side is right? You know what I mean? Like what's gonna happen? Right.
What I love the most about that part tonight wasn't a whole lot of talking. There's really not much left to say between these two. Like at this point, I just want to whoop your ass. Like at this point, bro, like we done talking. Like we've all been there. Like at some point, like the talking is over. It's time to settle this now. And CM Punk didn't say a fucking word. His music hit. He comes out and starts fighting with Drew McIntyre, beating the crap out of him with the strap. I have to say, though, not excited about the strap match. I hate gimmick matches like this. I think they're stupid. Just give me a normal match. But, you know, that's an argument for another day. But tonight, I thought got some excitement with this fight. And I thought they did really well because what more can you really say other than killing time? And, you know, that's pretty much the only thing you would be doing with the big promo going back and forth with these two. We've already had that. There's nothing left to say. I hate you. You hate me. I'm tired of you screwing me. I'm tired of you screwing me. So let's settle this.
Yeah, that's good. They got it. They got it handled. You know what was a little unhinged is when CM Punk was whipping the security.
Yeah, the crowd didn't know how to react. They started booing a little bit. They didn't know how to react.
I didn't know how to react. I had a moment where I was like, "Oh, this is like uncomfortable." I was like,
he's tired of it. Anybody can get it.
He's fed up. Anybody can get it. He is fed up with this treatment.
I'm ready for that match, though. I'm ready to see. I think this Saturday we'll put an end to it, and I think it'll be the last McIntyre CM Punk hurrah. So got us ready for that. That was a great part about tonight as well. I wish I would have seen CM Punk live on Instagram. I'm upset.
Yeah, it was funny. It's on there now. Like it's up there now. It's just like amusing because he doesn't really say a whole lot.
Nah, but it would have been funny to see.
The ring,
that's something that would have only been funny if I seen it live. Because now,
I mean, it's actually it's like not as cool when you watch it.
Yeah, I should have seen it live. That's my bad. I loafed.
I don't usually go. I mean, let us know in the chat. Let us know in the chat. Are you like active on social media during the shows? Because I will, unless I give my phone to my son because he wants to watch Lego videos on YouTube that are not allowed on his Kindle. So then he's like, I need this phone.
Yeah, I'm not active either. I'm watching. I
Yeah,
tweet every
usually.
once in a while, like if there's
Yeah.
something I really, really want to say.
Yeah.
So I know a lot of people do the live tweeting thing, which is great for them. It's engagement. But for me, I just want to watch. Um, I really don't tweet unless something like crazy, like if I absolutely, or like if I notice something that other people might not notice. Like when I pointed out the Liv Morgan stuff from the beginning, like I think I
Yeah.
tweeted something then.
Yeah.
But other than that, I'm like you. I just try to watch and enjoy it.
Yeah. See how it goes. Okay, what else is there going on here tonight?
The worst part of the night, I think, was it was Miz, Xavier Woods, and Pete Dunne. That was the worst part of the night. The crowd was completely dead.
They really were.
Completely dead. Like there was no reaction for that entire match. No reaction whatsoever. And it just killed the vibe for me. I like all three of those wrestlers. And they
Yeah.
all three had legitimate reasons why they could have won and should have won.
Yeah.
So like I had interest in it, but the crowd's vibe and like they were kind of sloppy a little bit in it too. Like there were a couple of moves I was like, oh, that was kind of rough. So like that was kind of rough for me tonight. That match was a dud.
Yeah. I think the only thing that stands out was there was something on the outside where I was like, this looks really clunky. And that was the thing I noticed where I thought like, oh.
Yeah, it was when Xavier Woods, like he tried to do this, not really suicide dive, but he tried to do the kick through the ropes completely.
Yeah. Oh, and then that particular sequence just like got a little bit.
Yeah. And it was just,
yeah.
I felt bad. And like Pete Dunne got the win, which is good.
Yeah.
He's getting a little bit of a push. So Pete Dunne will be in the Fatal 4-Way match for the Intercontinental title, number one contender for the Intercontinental title in 2 weeks from today. So Pete Dunne did win the match, but it was just, didn't hit for me. It wasn't like the Jey Uso match, though. That was pretty good.
Yeah.
Earlier in the night when Jey Uso won his match.
Yeah.
Didn't really remember a whole lot about the match. It really
No.
wasn't that long, but it was not clunky and terrible like the other match was. But yeah, Jey Uso was the first one to qualify for the number one contender Fatal 4-Way coming up in 2 weeks. So that'll be who will be the number one contender for the Intercontinental title. Predictions in the comments now.
Yes, let us know. What do you think? Who do you think is gonna win from the matches next week?
Be interesting.
I can tell you off the top of my head. It's one of them is Dominic, Dragon Lee, and Ilya.
Yeah.
And the other one was
Sheamus, Bronson Reed. And I don't remember the third. I don't remember the third person.
Somebody else is a little bit random where I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
I think Bronson Reed's gonna win.
Yeah, I think so too.
So, it was somebody else that I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
Like, you're gonna lose to Bronson Reed. Sorry. But yeah. So let us know. Let us know in the comments.
Yeah, I want to know who you think is going to be facing Braun Breaker for the Intercontinental title. But other than those, I think the only thing we got is Uncle Howdy debut tonight. Chad Gable, the main event. What did you guys think? Uncle Howdy's debut against Chad Gable tonight. A lot happened. Amanda, what did you think of the debut tonight?
I loved it a great deal. It continues to sort of like hurt my heart. Like I don't know if I'm watching a different show as everyone else, but like it actually scares me. Like I'm actually frightened of the masks and all this shenanigans. It like makes me feel, and I don't know if it's actual fear or if it's just like uncomfortability. Like but I do have like a visceral like and multiple times in the match I will like I am actually frightened of it, and I don't have a good reason, but it's like frightened in a good way. It's like when you go wait in line. I say this all the time about different stuff in wrestling, but like it's like when you go wait in line at Disneyland to meet Darth Vader, you're not like gonna have a joyful experience with Darth Vader, but like you're up there and you just like you're getting scared, but you're safe, and so it's like a fun kind of scared. I do think the mask stayed on, those extensions stayed on, nothing went out of place. I was a little bit worried that something like I do think that it was like it appeared to be very well secured. Like it looked like the back was strapped pretty well. But yeah, I think it would have to be pretty bad for me to ever turn against it. That's the whole thing. And like I don't know. I'm sure there is like a bad faith take You know what I mean? I'm sure, like, if I wanted to try to be a fucking asshole, I could sit here and, like, say some shenanigans. Because there is a bit of an element. There's a bit of a tribute act element that I think will probably be the thing that, like, other grumpy or rude people harp upon. But for me, at least, that's something that I greatly enjoy. And I don't think that it's too. This is the first one. I mean, like, I would be remiss to not expect to see, like, all of the, hit the beats that we saw. Like, if it wasn't a Sister Abigail, if there wasn't a Claw, if there wasn't a yeah, if there wasn't, like, all of these individual items, I think we would be feeling like, I don't think anyone would critique and say there wasn't enough, but, like, at the same time, I don't think you can fault this particular performance. I don't think we're gonna get, like, is it bad to say? I don't think that it will. I don't. I rarely stumble over my words. I just am like, I'm verklempt. Also, you're muted, and I'm scared that you don't know that.
I was waiting.
Oh, you're waiting. Sorry. Just you go. What do you have to say?
I just think people, because I've seen some people complaining a little bit, and it's like,
oh, really?
Yeah, and it's like, come on, you got to take in consideration, like, Bo Dallas hasn't been in a WWE match since November 13th of 2019.
Yes.
Like, chill. And it was also, by the way, a fun fact. I got this from Bleacher Report. His last match also was a tag match that featured Chad Gable.
Oh.
Yeah. So there you go. But yeah, you take that in consideration, and obviously, I think they made it very clear the tribute to Brody Lee and his brother obviously was adamant in this match. I think my big takeaway from it, I thought it was solid. Like, dude looks good. You can tell he's been working in the ring. You can tell he's been working at it for a while. Like, he didn't look clumsy. He didn't mess up anything. I thought it was solid. The storytelling is what's going to tell the story, though. It's not, to me, as long as he's okay in the ring and is not hurting anyone or looking clumsy, the storytelling is what's going to be the main thing here. It's about the story. And so far, the story with, the Wyatt Six has been phenomenal, and they've done a great job. And I think, and we've said it from the beginning, right? We told people that we felt like this would be the end, right? This would be end game. You got to face the final boss. Like, you can, face the other guys. You can face Joe Gacy and Eric Rowan and Dexter Loomis. You can face these guys in one match, but eventually you got to face the head boss.
Yeah.
So I think that's what happened tonight. We got the head boss giving Chad Gable his lesson. I love that everyone was getting involved. You expected it, obviously. I love the Ivy Niles part of this now. She is such a gem. She is awesome. I'm a big Ivy Nile fan, obviously, from NXT. With the Creed brothers, I'm enjoying this. I think that it is time to move on, though.
Yeah.
I think after this, I think we should be done between the Wyatt Six and Chad Gable and American Made. I think it's time to move on. Who's next? Because what else? Look, you already had Chad Gable versus Uncle Howdy. Like, what are we doing here after this? So I think it's time to move on. I think we put a stamp on this feud, and I think we could see the Wyatts move on to the Judgment Day.
I think that's good. And I wonder if that is not the answer to the what is Carlito still doing here?
Yeah.
Because if there is like a I think there's something afoot.
For sure.
Okay, so we're between now and Survivor Series, there's still Bad Blood to go. So I don't know. Yeah, it's hard to predict. It really is.
Yeah, because Bad Blood with the Judgment Day is probably gonna be Finn Damien at Bad Blood.
Yeah.
I've seen some people who are saying WrestleMania, but that's way too far away. Like, what are we gonna do? Drag this on for half a year? Like, that's way too long. I think we get Damien Finn at Bad Blood.
That makes sense.
I don't know. I still think the Wyatt Six will be moving to Judgment Day. But maybe like an official match or anything won't happen for a while. And maybe they'll just fuck with them for a few weeks and like slowly like hurt Carlito in a segment in the backstage or something, and he's out for a while and missing. And I could see them being like, "Where's Carlito?" I don't know.
Yeah.
And then JD McDonough and like slowly go through the Judgment Day. At least this is what I'm hoping. At least, folks, look, we're fantasy booking here. I just think, like I said, I just think it's time to move on from Chad Gable.
I agree. What do you think? What do you think, informed chatters? If you're here because I'm cute, that's okay too.
There you go. Before we get out of here, though, we gotta make predictions.
We do.
We gotta make some predictions real quick. So let's start with Raw. Liv and Dom against Damian and Rhea Ripley.
I
want to see y'all picks too in the comments.
Yeah, let us know.
Liv Morgan and Dom against the Terror Twins, Damian and Rhea.
I think Rhea and Damian.
I think so too. I'm hoping not. I'm hoping Liv and Dom get it done, but I think it'll be the Terror Twins. I think they'll get their revenge, and Finn's going to be pissed, and then we're going to continue this feud for a little bit through Bad Blood. So I got the Terror Twins as well. Who we got? Undisputed Championship, your boy Cody Rhodes against Kevin Owens.
I mean, I don't know what the point of this is, but by the time the end of the show, I think there will be a point. I'm telling you, I don't know what the point is now, but I trust in the process. But I do think Cody's going to win.
Yeah.
I will never say Cody's not going to win. I just think that there's going to be shenanigans because I think Cody loses it and gets it back next year at Mania. I think Vegas is Cody winning it back.
Ooh, okay. Yeah, I got Cody Rhodes in this. There's no way I can't see Kevin Owens winning that. Women's Tag Team Championship. We got to see a little bit of promo today from the Unholy Union talking trash about Jade and Bianca, saying, everyone wants them to be the best, but that doesn't mean they are the best. I love that quote, by the way, from them. Unholy Union against Jade and Bianca for the tag titles.
Jade and Bianca, because there's a new shirt.
Ooh. Oh, they released a new shirt? I didn't see that.
Yeah.
Well,
that's the only reason.
That doesn't always mean anything. I mean, Swerve just signed a new contract with AEW and lost the title. So,
I mean,
look, anything,
I think they're staying together, though.
I got the Unholy Union. I think Jade and Bianca are getting ready to. I think the happy ending with them is getting ready to take a little turn. Yeah. We're going to start seeing slowly their frustration and it's going to start going towards each other. I think it's going to start. I got the Unholy Union to retain.
Madness. Hey, Ed's here. Hi, Ed. Thank you
so
much,
Ed?
Ralphie.
All good. What up, Ed?
We figured out the Michael Jackson joke, by the way.
Yeah. I got my tan back.
Yeah, DC's tan is back.
So I got Unholy Union, you got Jade and Bianca. So we were talking about it earlier, the leather strap match, CM Punk and Damian and Drew McIntyre. Who wins? Your favorite match, the strap match. I don't even know the rules of a strap match.
You have to beat this guy's ass so badly that you can go around and touch all 4 ring posts, but dragging, he can't stop you from doing it.
Got you.
Yeah. I
got CM Punk.
Really, I think Drew, and I think that something costs Punk. I think it maybe Seth gets involved. This is what I don't know why, but one time
Seth is dead. Bronson Reed killed him.
Huh?
Bronson Reed killed Seth. He can't be involved in this.
His rage might revive him.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think Drew.
Got Drew? Okay. Yeah. We're different a lot on these. I like that.
Sometimes I just will pick the most random shit.
I like that. I mean, look, either one of us is going to be right.
Exactly. So 50-50. Someone's got a chance.
World Heavyweight Championship. Randy Orton versus the Ringra.
I really want Randy Orton to win it. I don't think that means he will, but that's what I want. So that's what I'm going to say.
That's what you're gonna say. I like that. I like that. I think we're, as much as I want it to happen because Orton's one of my favorites of all time. Don't think it's gonna happen. I got Gunther. I think he retains. We got some great matches though coming up on Saturday, so we're gonna keep track of this. Me and Amanda differed on a lot of these, so
yeah,
we'll have to keep track.
One
of us is very wrong, and the other one is very right.
Yes,
and I'm not
I
wrong.
will let you guess.
I'm just kidding.
Who's who?
Yeah, we'll let y'all decide that. Did
anyone? We'll let Paula Beck decide. Okay.
So did anyone comment their predictions? I want to know how crazy we are. I think the only one I was kind of unsure about was the Unholy Union. That was one I've been kind of back and forth on. I do think they're trying to build them up a little bit as the women's tag champions. So at least I'm hoping. Like, I feel like I've been saying that for the women's tag team champions for so long, and it hasn't happened yet. So I'm hoping that they're finally building a dominant tag team. They did a little bit with Damage Control, I guess. But I got Unholy Union. Randy versus Cody at Survivor Series could be epic. I've been waiting for that turn for so long. It's going to be so great when that finally happens. But now I'm confused. Like, is he Raw now? Or is he just Raw for now and going back?
I think he's just Raw for now unless he wins, which is the explanation for why mentally I'm saying that it's possible that it is Gunther. Like, they made it weird where it would be like they would switch. Yeah. And for some reason, I just was like, oh, okay, they're going to do that.
Yeah, they even went back. They went back to Adam Pearce a couple times. He's like talking about a trade on the phone. And it's like, okay, so who's trading?
I feel like there's some shenanigans afoot.
Maybe it just hasn't happened yet, and I'm fucking impatient. So maybe that's what it is. I am impatient.
I am a little impatient too. I think we're used to a more chaotic booking style.
Yeah.
It changes very often. And so we get confused. We're like, wait a second, this MFer is telling a real story, and he's actually going to land that plane. This is Shonda Rhimes now. This isn't Jerry Springer. It's like actually crazy, wild.
That was Raw this week, though, folks. We got a lot. We got a lot to look forward to. Raw's been delivering, y'all. Like, I'm ready for next week. We'll figure out the last 2 slots for the Intercontinental Fatal 4-Way. So there's a lot to be excited about. Saturday, we got another afternoon pay-per-view, which can we regularize that, please? Afternoon pay-per-views on the weekend. Can we do that?
I think because of the way that they have their deal with Netflix, that Netflix gets to air all the international ones. I do think that pretty much 2025 forward, we're going to see everything but the big 4 out of the country. Yep. That's my bold prediction. I think Peacock will keep the big 4.
Peacock, yeah. I was going to say Peacock.
But, yeah. So hopefully, yes. And there is one on Sunday, too. There sure is.
Of course. You know I ain't forgetting NXT. You know it. You already know I ain't forgetting NXT.
Man. So
No Mercy. We're not going to pick that one, though. There's an NXT show tomorrow. We'll let them do that. I'm sure they'll be talking about that for the NXT. We should
ask them if we can have prediction battles with them.
Ooh.
We should ask the other shows.
I've been nailing NXT, so I don't know if anyone wants to go against me in NXT predictions.
We should have prediction battles. That would be fun.
I should. I'm with that.
And then there's a prediction. There could be a body slam prediction champion.
There we go. And we get a real belt. I like that.
It won't be me.
Body slam champ. I'll do the whole damn show with the belt sitting right here.
Oh man, it probably will be you too. Okay, very good. Everybody, thank you so much for all of your time, your attention. We love you. We appreciate you. Send us some money. You know how it is. Go to different social media websites to follow us there. DC is going to tell you where to follow him. I want DC to tell you where to give him money because he works hard, and I think people should donate some money. You don't need it. It's just like for fun. Buy him a drink. You know what I mean? That's the thing is that this women's stuff, I think women in wrestling media, there's a lot of downside, but I do think that there is more, there's no hesitancy towards being like, oh, let me buy a woman a coffee, right? But I don't think the men in this space get like the same, people just send me $5 for coffee. And then I'm like, oh my God, thank you so much. I think the men deserve the coffees too. So send DC
Look,
$5.
this is why Amanda's the best, folks. Like she's the voice of the men now too. Like, shout out to Amanda. Follow her first. Amanda Savage, Amanda underscore. I think it's Amanda underscore Savage on Instagram. I think. Follow her first. Follow her on Twitter. Hook her up with the follow first, and then if you feel like it, hit me with a follow at DC Hendricks on Twitter and official DC Hendricks on Instagram. But follow Amanda first.
No, please don't. Amanda's is a lot of just like shenanigans and hijinks, to be fair. Okay, I'm going to end stream and I'm going to push the right button so that it's not a super long. I'm going to push it now before, and then it gets a second end stream button because you don't just do it once, you do it twice. Take good care, everybody.
Peace and
Be
love,
well.
everybody.
We'll see you next week.